Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Fox298 here, and welcome back to a brand new F1 2016 career mode video for you guys here on my channel. Today we are back with round 13 of my career modes here for the Belgian Grand Prix with Williams Racing. If you do enjoy today's video, drop a like on it, that'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. And without further ado, let's get on straight into it, and let's get this Grand Prix underway. But before we do get into this video, I want to give a massive shout out to a subscriber of mine called Zafso. So basically, he created a YouTube banner and profile pic for me a couple of months ago, basically. And I was happy with the one that I had previously. But yesterday during my live stream, he actually went on and redeveloped the profile picture and the banner and sent it to me, and I thought it was absolutely stunning. I thought it was a really good piece of design. On your screens right now, it's going to be the profile picture, so it's the same thing as what Williams Gaming did. He's got the FD98 in there, but he's gone with a different blue style background to it, with some really nice background effects in there, and a very cool blue looking fox, a very mean looking fox. And I just think they're absolutely stunning. And then next up is the banner. And the banner's basically, again, the same thing as what Williams Gaming's produced for me, which I've had for a couple of months now, with Fox298 in there. The fox, again, the same thing. And then we've got my Facebook page and then my Twitter page. And then the same really good looking blue background. I don't know where he got it from, but it's absolutely amazing. So a massive shout out to you, my friend. I've left a link to his channel and his description. I don't really know if he uploads, because I get unsub from everyone every single day. So I'll leave a link to it nonetheless. And I'll also leave a link to his Twitter page, so you guys can go and check him out on Twitter as well. It's a really stunning piece of design work, and what an amazing job, dude. So thanks ever so much for the profile picture and the banner. And I have switched it to that, so you'll be able to see it on this video. If you check out my channel later on in the day, you will be able to see that it has switched. Anyway, then, into the Grand Prix weekend we go, and we're here for the Belgian Grand Prix, and things were looking quite good for the Williams car. It was a little bit sluggish in the braking zones and in the middle sector, and you'll see it here, going into the braking zone. We actually got a wheel on the grass there, locked very hard there, and we made a absolute mess of the bus stop chicane here in the intermediate conditions. Of course, it was dry in Q1, I believe. No, it's not, because this is Q1. It was dry in practice, but it was wet in Q1, which was a little bit irritating. And we qualified all the way down in 11th position, but of course, we were I'd say about 2nd or 3rd, maybe even 4th in qualifying until we locked up into the chicane. And that caused us to lose that much amount of time, which is a real problem for us. Into Q2 we go, and as you can see, the track is starting to dry up a little bit, but it's not quite dry enough yet for the dry tyres, so we're going to have to do another lap on the intermediates, and we're here, actually, at the start of our lap, ready to go forth and set ourselves an amazing qualifying lap here. So as you can see, we're coming now to making the run towards Eau Rouge. Things are looking good for us, taking into Eau Rouge, braking a bit hard. We've taken too much curb though, and we've actually lost the back end of the car. Okay, I've gone flying. Yeah, well, that may have happened. Having a look at a replay on board, I took way too much. I cut the second part of Eau Rouge way too much. My plan, I actually got flying. I got flung completely out of the car. But what I was trying to do before you complain of corner cuts is I took the first part of Eau Rouge flat perfectly. I wanted to try and take as much curve through the second part of Eau Rouge as possible before then I had to flick the car in to let the back end slide for the final part of Eau Rouge before going onto the Camel straight and pushing forwards. I actually took way too much cornering on the second phase of Eau Rouge that I got the wheel on the grass, and then I tried to just keep going straight in hope that I could do something about it. I lost the back end of the car, went straight into the wall. My car even flipped, as you saw right there, and that's a really big disappointment for us. So no qualifying there. We're actually going to be starting P16 for today's Belgian Grand Prix, so we've got a lot of work to do in this Grand Prix, but you guys wanted to see me start further down the order, so we're starting further down the order, but without further ado, we've got no choice, so let's get into the race for the Belgian Grand Prix.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Nico Rosberg will start his silver arrow from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen, and Perez, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Button, and Daniel Ricciardo, Palmer, Alonso, Kevin Magnussen, and Kvyat, Gutierrez, and Williams, Carlos Sainz, and Roman Grosjean. Nasser and Ericsson, Rio Haryanto, and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right then guys, as you can see, we're on the grid here for the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's going to be a very, very strange Grand Prix. As you can see, we're going to be starting off on the dry tyres, but it's going to very quickly transition to intermediates, and then go to heavy rain, and then back to light rain, and then back to dry weather again. So, excuse me, we're going to be having a lot of pit stops in this Grand Prix, so we need to be wary of that. So I saw that the rain was coming at the first block. There's only going to be one block of dry weather. But the problem is, around Belgium, is I don't know when that one block is. It could be up to lap 6, lap 7. It could be a little bit further back than that. So what I decided to do is I decided to play the safe game. I'm going to start the race on the soft tyres. Sounds like a bit of a dumb call, but I'm going to try it. Because I'm not sure how long the super softs are going to last. So my hope was, to start with, is as I nearly crashed into Fiat on the formation lap, is if I start on the soft tyres, I might be able to just quickly get about a lap or two more tyre life than my rivals, and then they'll pit for super softs, and then they'll pit again for wet. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. But as you can see here, we're on the grid, and it is lights out. Here we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's been a good start from us, actually. Of course, being this far back, we're bound to get a good start. We go past Fiat and past Gutierrez. Into La Source we go. We can't go for a move anywhere. We're going to have to take it very cautiously, of course, since we couldn't get past Gutierrez quick enough that we couldn't get the move down to the inside line. So we had to take it very, very cautiously indeed. But we're up into 13th place now from 16th on the grid. So a great start from us as we make our way up towards Eau Rouge now. Of course, we crashed here in qualifying, so can we make it stick this time? We've done it quite nicely there indeed. That's how we should have taken Eau Rouge in qualifying, but we didn't because we're dumb. But moving on here, we've got 3 abreast there down the Kemmel straight there for the lead. That was Rosberg, Hamilton and Vettel all going for it there. Into the corner we go. I believe Hamilton got the best out of all that. And we make a diving move down the inside of the 2 Renaults. And we've also got a McLaren. I think we were in front of one of the Renaults in the first place there, and we were challenging Daniel Ricciardo, but we didn't quite get the move stick here as Raikkonen is battling one of the Force India, but that's Perez. Down the inside of Ricciardo we go. We do that nice and carefully there, and we just give Jensen a little bit of a ram there. And in fact, we've actually lost the part of our front wing at the very end there. The little penis thing that sticks out on at the front is actually gone. So that's going to be a bit irritating on the replay cams, but it's not actually damaged on the car. It's literally just replay cams are going to make the car look even uglier than it may potentially already be, depending on your opinions here. But we're carrying things onwards now, and we're closing up to Jensen Button. We've made 6 places on this first lap, which is a very, very good stuff, very solid start. We got past the likes of the Renaults and the Toro Rossos and the Haas very, very quickly, and now we're on to the front-running drivers. Of course, the McLaren, the Ferrari, the Red Bull, the Force Indias, and the Mercedes, and us, of course, in the Williams cars as well, are all very, very closely matched. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we can do here, but we're into rich fuel mixture. We're getting into the slipstream with Jensen Button. We're actually closing him at a vast rate of knots here. That McLaren Honda power engine is very, very bad. We know that as well. We're going to go towards the outside line here. Jensen squeezes us wide a bit. We actually go on the grass and nearly crash into Verstappen there. And down the inside, we've got past Perez as well. How on earth have we kept that together? We're going to stay with Perez, though. Traction is going to be better for Perez, surely, but we've actually got a little bit of an exit in him after running wide, and that is us up into 7th place. But we so nearly crashed into the back of Verstappen as we went onto the grass, but somehow we managed to correct the car to the point where we actually got things going. Further down onto that lap, Perez is passing us, and Bottas has crashed into Vettel at the end of the Kemmel straight there. You can see it there. We actually have to go wide and avoid Kimi Raikkonen as Sebastian Vettel got hit off the track by Bottas, my teammate actually. Hamilton leads Bottas in 2nd. Vettel is able to carry on in 3rd, and we're going to make a move down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen here now, and that is us promoted into, I believe that is now 6th place on the grid. As someone else has gone spinning in the background, I think that was Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's in front of us. That might have been the Force India Perez, but we are continuing onwards onto lap 2 of the Grand Prix now we are, and the intermediate tyres are already going to be needed. So my option here, and you can see further on into the lap, I've gone wide into the Blanchimont there, and into the bus stop. Raikkonen's in front of us, but we are going to try and get back in front of Kimi, and into this the bus stop we go, and we're going to be making it nice and cautiously here. But it's definitely time to pit. The Ferrari, one of the Ferrari drivers, and I think one of the Mercedes drivers, has actually stayed out a lap longer than everybody else, which is a really weird thing there. So I'm not sure why they've done that. They should really stack up. You're going to lose more time staying out another lap, especially around Belgium, than stacking up. And as you can see here, we have to stack up for Bottas, and that's going to cost us a lot of time, unfortunately, but we had no choice. We couldn't afford to stay out there much longer. Because we were just losing time. We lost it in the exit of Blanchimont and nearly crashed into Raikkonen, so we had to make the pit stop nonetheless. There was no choice. We definitely needed to make that one. And coming out of the pits now, we've got Hulkenberg in front of us. So in fact, we haven't actually lost time compared to me and Hulkenberg. But of course, to my rivals up front, we have lost a lot of time in this Grand Prix. On to lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. We're currently in 14th place. We've got Pascal Wehrlein in front of us, who's actually had to stay out a lap longer. He decided not to stack up, and that's going to cost him massively in this Grand Prix. We're going to go sweeping past Pascal with absolute ease there, and that was kind of obvious, to be honest. He was really struggling on those dry tyres. You can see it's already definitely time now for Inters. Anyone on dries at the moment? We've actually got another driver that's on dries. I believe it's Grosjean, actually. It is indeed. So we're going to try it here, but Verstappen closes us off there as we try around the outside. Hulkenberg goes for a dive on the inside of Verstappen. We're going to be nice and patient, though. Take our time on the inside line. We've got past Verstappen, Grosjean, and Hulkenberg all in one maneuver there. So a very calm and very patient piece of driving there to wait until we had the right opportunity to attack. I wanted to go to the outside line and overtake Hulkenberg and then make my move on Verstappen and also on Grosjean, but Hulkenberg just went in for the dive, pushed Verstappen wide a bit, and was able to take the corner nice and cleanly, and that is us up into 10th place on the Grand Prix. We've got a full course safety car now here for this Belgian Grand Prix, so something's gone wrong. No one's retired from the Grand Prix, so I don't know where that came from. That was one of the most random safety cars ever. On to lap 6 of the Grand Prix now, and we're going to be able to get back racing again. I went through all the replay cameras, and I had no signs to see where the safety car came from, so it was completely random. But what that's done now is that's closed me right up to my rivals in front of me. So as we get back racing again, Hamilton leads this race there. You can see him on your screens. Vettel second, Bottas third, Rosberg fourth, myself now in fifth. But we are in a very good position in this Grand Prix. Remember, we started 16th in this race as we go through La Source there. But, you know, we were a long way behind our rivals, mainly because the fact that Bottas had to stack, we had to stack in the pits, and we lost a lot of time. But now, we've got all that advantage back, so we're in a very good position here. We've just got to take our time now and start getting adjusted to these intermediate conditions, because remember, we crashed in qualifying, and we don't want to do that again in the race. But the rain is starting to fall down a lot heavier now, and the heavy rain is starting to approach at a vast rate of knots here. Rosberg and Bottas are actually attacking each other further up front here, and we're just going to have to be a bit patient as Rosberg now goes for a move on Bottas towards Blanchimont. Will he make that move stick? Not quite sure, can't see it. They're still side by side. They forced each other wide there through Blanchimont. We're going to come through and overtake Bottas quite clearly there. I'm actually going to attack Rosberg as well. We've actually got the job done on Rosberg, but Rosberg goes for a cheeky little move down the inside into the bus stop. I'm actually going to let him through because I'm going to go and gamble in this Grand Prix. You know what, this Grand Prix has been crazy enough as it is. I might as well, you know, spice it up a little bit more. On lap 7 of the Grand Prix, the rain is now falling down a lot heavier than it was before. It's now started to, it's transitioned to heavy rain. The track's not quite wet enough yet for full wet conditions, but I know that in the next lap or two, that will change and it will turn to full wet conditions. So I'm going to go bold and I'm going to go brave, and I'm going to make the switch to the full wet tyres early. Now, this could cost me massively. Remember back in Britain in Season 3 for Ferrari, Season 4 even, I crucially made a mistake to go onto the wet tyres. But this time, I'm willing and I'm ready to gamble in this Grand Prix. I've already, you know, made up masses of places. I'm ready to spice up the action here. On to lap 9 of the Grand Prix now, and we've caught up to Marcus Ericsson, who we weren't able to catch in the previous 2 laps. But now, we've actually managed to close up, and we're actually going to be able to make an overtake on Marcus. Now, yes, congratulations, woohoo, Foxy. I've just overtaken a Sauber. How impressive is that, guys? But I wasn't able to I was maintaining the gap to Marcus on my full wet tyres. But I've now closed in, and I've now been able to attack. And as you can see here, on the end of lap 9, beginning lap 10, all the drivers are now coming in for a set of the full wet tyres. And Sergio Perez behind me pitted for full wets on the end of lap 8, start of lap 9. Which meant that he also felt that it was time for wet tyres, which means we may have just made a gamble that could have actually potentially paid off massively. That's Nico Hulkenberg in front of us, and we're in front of Nico Hulkenberg. Now, I believe we were already in front of him anyway after the restart, but even if we did fail, Hulkenberg, I believe, was still behind us, so we haven't actually lost that much time compared to my rivals. Further on into lap 10, you can see that the transition to full wets is definitely now, as we make a move down the inside of Pascal Wehrlein, who's on the set of the intermediate tyres, and he's actually held up Hulkenberg quite nicely for us, so thanks for that, Pascal. But anyone that is now out on Inters is now out on the wrong tyres. But the best thing for myself is I know I've gone early on these wet tyres, but the big thing for me is that my wet tyres are going to be in a working range by now. I'm going to have temperature in these tyres, I'm going to have heat in these tyres, which means I'm going to have a lot more confidence and crucially a lot more grip in the corners to really attack on this track. Whereas my rivals who are pitting are going to be struggling on cold wet tyres on a full wet transitioning circuit that's just going to keep getting wetter. So from where I'm standing, I'm in a very strong position. On to lap 11 of the Grand Prix now, and you can see that more and more drivers are making their pit stops, and Rosberg there has just made his pit stop to go into a set of the full wet tyres, so we are still behind Nico, but we're currently in third at the moment. However, we're going to have a little go at Rosberg because, you know, why the hell not? Up Eau Rouge we go. We're going to see what we can do here. We've actually got a fantastic drive through Eau Rouge, and we're right on the back of Rosberg. Back end slides a little bit from us there, but we're still onto the back of Rosberg, and now onto the Kemmel straight we go, and this is going to be a very kind and clean manoeuvre here, and we're up into second place. Rosberg has to come back into our slipstream because we've just gone straight flying past him there as we set a purple first sector in this Grand Prix, which is weird because my fastest lap so far was on dry tyres, but you know. Anyway, but what's happened now is I've actually gone from 5th up to 2nd thanks to my stop, and we're now just behind Vettel, so the gamble has paid off brilliantly here. On to lap 12 of the Grand Prix though, Nico Rosberg seems a little bit pissed that he's been overtaken by myself, and I'm not surprised because he was terrible in the wet anyway. But he is actually fancying to get back at us. So we come through past Stavlo here now, which we've actually gone past here. And Rosberg is now very much in the hunt here. You can see he's actually got a very good exit here. Rosberg through Blanchimont corner we go. We're going to have the inside line here. Will Rosberg brave it out? He actually runs wide onto the wet part of the track and actually loses time there. So unfortunate for Rosberg, but he's lost time through Blanchimont. And that is going to cost him heavily as into the bus stop we go. And we are still in front of Rosberg for the time being. Still in second place here on lap 12 of this crazy Belgian Grand Prix for the time being. As we move on to lap 13. Gaps about 5 seconds to Vettel. But Vettel is pulling away quite crucially in this Grand Prix. On to lap 14 of the Grand Prix now. And it is time for us to make our pit stop again. I was waiting because the dry weather is Rosberg, sorry, as I stop talking here. Rosberg very close to us. He actually stays behind us. We're not going to have to worry about Rosberg. But there you can see is the transition. I knew that the lighter rain was coming soon. I didn't think it would come this soon, otherwise I would have tried the gamble and switched to the intermediates earlier, like I did with the, with the wet weather. But Rosberg stays out another lap. That's a big one. Nico Rosberg has stayed out an extra lap on his full wet, which is dumb. And that's why, look, they've actually brought in Hamilton first. So even though Rosberg was the first man on track, they've actually brought Hamilton out first, which is a very interesting call from Mercedes-Benz. Personally, I would have brought in Nico Rosberg first because, you know, he's in the fight for me. He's in a battle with me for second place in this race. Of course, Vettel's off into the distance. I believe he's about 7 seconds clear. So Ferrari are doing a very, very good job in this Grand Prix to, you know, get in front. As there's a McLaren Honda of, I believe, that's Fernando Alonso, but it's a McLaren Honda, so we'll get past him in like 2 seconds, really. Anyway, so we're out of the pits now. And we're going to have to see basically how much time we can gain. So up Eau Rouge we go. We cut that nice and cornerly there. Very, very good stuff there. But, you know, one cut corner on a track that we've just gone back to inters on, you can't really fault that. You've got to find the limits. And if you do go off the track like that, it's fine. We lost the back end as well. And as I checked the weather report, because I want to know when this dry weather is coming in, because it's meant to get dry again. So we might actually have to go into a set of super softs for the end of the Grand Prix. Who knows what, quite frankly, here in Belgium, because it's been all over the shop with overtakes, safety cars, transitioning to different weather systems. It's been an absolute hectic Grand Prix. But as you can see here, we're closing up quite quickly to Fernando Alonso. And the time to transition to intermediates is definitely now, as Alonso nearly made contact with me there. That was nearly a big one, and that could have sent me spinning rounds here. But luckily, Fernando is able to sacrifice his position, and that is us further on. On to lap 16 of the Grand Prix, and unfortunately, Jolyon Palmer has unfortunately retired from the Grand Prix. And unfortunately, he's been let down. Once again, as you can see, it's an engine failure, of course, since 2017 in qualifying. He hasn't exactly done a good job because he starts from the back of the field in that race, but moving on. Yeah, Jolyon still retiring, unfortunately. On to lap 17 of the Grand Prix now. We've got some yellow flags behind us, and someone slowed down. And I'll tell you what, my engineer has just stated that Nico Rosberg is slowing down and has got a problem, and he's actually brought out a safety car for it. Rosberg's slow problem has caused a full safety car, and I have no idea why. Now, I do show a replay. This is Rosberg. He's literally got some problem, and he's going extremely slowly right now. But this is during safety cars. So I don't know what's happened to Rosberg. No punctures, no engine failures. He's just slow. But on to lap 20, you won't believe it, but we've got a chance to win the Belgian Grand Prix. We are now bunched up, and this is my chance to fight Vettel for the win here in Belgium. After starting P16, after crashing in qualifying, we've got a big opportunity now. We've been blessed by the F1 gods to go and get this win. So we warned for a collision with Vettel because I did touch his bum there. But, you know, I just like the bum of the Ferraris. But anyway, onto the bus stop chicane now. We've got a better exit out of this chicane than we did against Rosberg on the first safety car restart. It's been a fantastic restart from us here as we get back racing once again into the slipstream of Vettel. We're not going to to wait for Eau Rouge. We're going to dive it down the inside. Into La Source we go. Down the inside, and we're up into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Vettel's still alongside us here. We'll give him the room, but we'll get the drive, and we're up into the lead here in Belgium, and that is us up into P1. I've said it like 7 times now. Through Eau Rouge we go. Will Vettel make a move stick? He won't. And into Eau Rouge. We've got so much confidence in the car that we can take Eau Rouge perfectly without crashing here on lap 21 of the Grand Prix. Down the camel straight we go. We're going to defend the inside line and hope that they don't get the slipstream, which they actually don't because the AI is bad at programming stuff. And into the second part of this circuit, we are now into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. What a comeback onto the final lap of the Grand Prix now. We're just making our way through Stavelot corner right now. And then we've got Blanchimont, the bus stop, and then we can win this Belgian Grand Prix. But it's still not over yet. As we come out of the exit here of Stavelot, you can see that we've lost the back end a little bit. Vettel is closing in on us as he's getting very close now. We're going to defend the inside into Blanchimont. Will we get the move stuck on Vettel? Vettel has to stick in behind. Through Blanchimont corner we go. We've got one more chicane left to do, and we have won this Belgian Grand Prix. Vettel closing. Got to make this braking zone sorted here. Into the bus stop we go. We've done the braking zone perfectly, and there's nothing else more we can do. We've done it. We've actually gone and done it here. Round the final corner, my choo-choo train is building. But from 16th on the grid, we have won the Belgian Grand Prix. By far the craziest and the best race this season. Probably my best race in my entire career mode series. That was an absolutely stunning Grand Prix. Start to finish. It was a brilliant result for myself, and I cannot complain. You know, I've won a load of races in this season, but this one was hard fought. We went for it, we gambled, and we earned this Grand Prix. We got some luck with the safety car, bringing us back into contention against Sebastian Vettel, but hey, we had to fight for it today, and we definitely went and fought for it. So you can see, there we are on the top step of the podium. We got a great start. We moved up a lot of places in the dry weather. Transition to light rain. We were still pretty fast when we made the big gamble. The big gamble to go onto the full wet tyres really paid off. Gained us a lot of positions. And then we would have maybe gained a bit more transitioning to inters earlier. Just didn't quite manage to read that one right, unfortunately. And then the safety car brought us back into play, and we went for it on Vettel. Wasted no time. We did it, and we could have crashed into La Source for all we know. We could have had a massive incident, and it could have cost us. We may not even got the job done, but we really went for it today, and it was an absolutely stunning race. Like I said, my favourite Grand Prix so far ever I've raced on F1 2016. That was absolutely brilliant to be a part of. And I hope you guys did enjoy it nonetheless. In the driver's standings, we are going to increase our advantage. I know we're still increasing it, and I get that people want close racing. Yeah, that's nothing we can do. But someone said to wait till Singapore until you do last to first. So I'm going to wait till Singapore, see what the championship advantage is, and then I'll probably do a last to first for the rest of the season from Singapore onwards. But that is it, guys. You can see that is us done for the Belgian Grand Prix. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to click the like button. It means absolutely everything to me. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. Don't forget to go and check out Zafzo as well, who created a new profile picture and banner for myself. Because he's an absolutely amazing designer and deserves a lot of credit for the work that he's done. He didn't have to do it. I didn't ask him to do it. He just voluntarily just did it by himself, and he wanted to do it. So, you know, I'm not going to stop him from doing that. The team have also updated us that they're very happy with our results at the moment, which they should be. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the Italian Grand Prix next time. Thanks for watching. Take care all. Peace.